Hey everybody, my name is Riley Harper. I will be doing my video on finding derivatives using the power rule. So the power rule allows us to determine the derivative of exponential expressions. So it's got a function right here, a formula. It says d over d of x, which is the derivative of x to the n power equals n multiplied by x to the power of n minus 1. And n cannot equal 0. So it sounds kind of complicated, but that's just a formula. I'll explain it real quick. It's basically, we're putting the exponent in front of the expression as an integer, and we're reducing the new exponent by 1. So here's an example. It says, find the derivative of f of x equals x to the 5th power. Scoot up a little bit. So it's pretty simple. We just do f of x equals x to the 5th power. And then we change that to 5 times x, and then to n minus 1. So 5 minus 1. And that can just go to 5x to the 4th power. Scoot it up. It's the final answer. It's pretty straightforward. Work right there, same answer. So if the exponential expression has a number in front, like 2x to the 5th power, then when we find the derivative, you can first separate that number. So I got another example right here. It says find the derivative of f of x equals 2x to the 5th power. So the example right there. So it's pretty easy. We can use the same example from up here. When it says 2x to the 5th power, all we do is when we do d over d of x equals 2x to the 5th power, or not equals, sorry, d over d of x, 2x to the 5th power, all we do is we do 2 multiplied by the derivative of x to the 5th power. And since we already have this in the previous one, we can just move it down. 2 multiplied by 5x to the 4th power, and that just equals 10x to the 4th power. Okay? Alright. So far we only use positive exponents. Negative exponents are pretty simple. We just need to remember this formula. It's 1 over x is the same as x to the negative 1st power. So say 1 divided by negative 1 would just be, well, I guess that doesn't really work out. I'll show you down here. Example is find the derivative of f of x equals 3 over x to the 2nd power. So here's what I want you to see. Whenever x is to a power down here, we can move it up to be a negative exponent up here. So I've got the example. It's a derivative of 3 over x squared. And that we can change to the derivative of 3x to the negative 2 power of negative 2. And from there, we can see 3 right here. So we do 3 multiplied by the derivative of x to the negative 2 power. From there, we can just move negative 2 over here. I'll just do it kind of fast. It's 3 times negative 2x, negative 3. And that will just go to negative 6x, negative 3. So final answer. Alright, moving on to the last part. So when we're going to radical expressions, when we differentiate radical expressions, we can use this formula. It's the root of x, or square root of x equals x to the power of 1 over 2. Or there's this formula in case it's not the square root. Whatever root it is, x to whatever power, that equals x a over b. So b's here and a's here. For the example, I'll just use x squared. It says find the derivative of x squared, or the square root of x, sorry. So when you look at the square root of x, still see that? Yep. So all we're really going to do is, when it's like this, you just put a 2 right there. People don't write that, but that's how it is. And x to the 1st power, because it's just a number. So we can use this formula. We move that out to be 2x. And then from there, we just move it to x to 1 over 2, because x is 1 right here. So we use the formula, a over b right here, 1 over 2, x to the 1/2 power. And we're still finding the derivative of that. Sorry, it's kind of floppy handwriting. So we'll move this over here. 1/2 x, and then n minus 1, 1/2 minus 1. So we move that down. I'll slide down. You still see that? Yep. All right, so it will be 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 power. And that is our final answer for the derivative. We work right there. Oh, yeah, I guess I've got one more point. I'll show you how to add and subtract derivatives. The formula is really simple. It's derivative of f of x plus or minus g of x equals the derivative of f of x plus or minus the derivative of g of x. So it's basically, if this is like this, we take the derivative of that, and we separate it. I'll just show you the work right here. It says find the derivative of 5x squared minus x. So we already found the derivative of 5x squared. Oh, no, that was something different. All right. So 5x squared, I'll just do it really fast for you. You can still see. Keep that in the picture. So 2 times 5, we'll do 10x, 2 minus 1 equals 1, minus x, and x is to the first power, but we do 1 minus 1 equals 0. Also remember, anything to an exponent of 0 equals 1, so, or equals 0. Sorry. So it'll be 10x first power minus 1. We can just erase that too. Yeah, so anything to the power of 0 equals 1. So 10x minus 1, that is our final answer. I hope you found this video informative and that you were able to hear me with my fast talking. Thank you and have a good day.